Hello, friends. Welcome to the Best Mom Ever Parenting Teens podcast, your place to get the tools and strategies you need to have a close and trusting relationship with your kids. Thanks for listening. We are glad you're here. Okay, recording. Well, happy Friday, everybody. I am Allison, and I love serving parents and honestly serving children, kids, teenagers, young people of the world by helping parents learn to be more peaceful in their relationships, which is super cool and rad. And what a freaking gift that I get to do this for you all and be a part of your conversation and your journey. I'm so lucky to be in this place. So thank you for being open and being ready to receive this insight and conversation. I was just like reading through my journal and I found this and I wanted to share it. Our relationship with our kids shapes the people that they become and how they expect to be treated by others. We have this cool opportunity as parents to shape their belief that they are lovable and help build within them the capacity to receive and give love. Our young people are not lazy. They're not entitled and selfish or manipulative or wrong. The way we perceive them matters. And just like we are doing the best that we can, they are doing the best that they can. And I know that you are. That's why you're listening today. So thanks for being on the journey with me. It's really, really cool. If you've been tracking with me, I have been pretty quiet these past few months. Oh my goodness, so much has been going on in my little family. My partner has just started a new job, and I actually have I have their dog with me today. We're busy training him so that he's a little bit more work friendly, but you might hear him snoring in the background. Anyway, my partner got to start this amazing new job, and it takes up all of their time right now. And so it's just been such a wild adventure. I mean, it's such a cool opportunity and it won't take up all their time forever. I actually don't get to share because it's like a public service type position. So I kind of have to be careful about sharing their business to everyone. But it's a super cool opportunity for them to increase their level of service to the community and become a even more it's like personal transformation, which is like super, super cool to me. And, as a coach, and this growth is so central to who I am as a person. And so getting to watch them go through this is super rad and exciting. There are also a lot of other things in my life that are being affected. So it's been tumultuous, and here we are. And I'm so excited to get to answer actually a question or an ask for support from one of our amazing listeners. So thank you for sharing. I so appreciate your question. This parent shares that they're struggling with how to have stress-free time with their teenager. And they are noticing that their own health issues are also a barrier, and they are figuring out how to manage ADHD potentially and exploding volatile reactions and then parenting patterns. And they're just trying to help their kid get ready for college and have a good life. And I feel like this story is so common. We are just doing the best we can, and we're overwhelmed, and we're trying our best. And a lot of times we are not able to be the parent we want to be for our kids when we're stressed. Ugh, it's hard. I hear you, mama. Especially right now. I feel like a lot of people are just acclimating to so many changes increased price of groceries and getting ready for college. Some parents may be grieving their teen who just left for college and trying to figure out what they do now, which I can super relate to in my current life. So I get it. I feel you. And this parent shared that they were worried that they may have made mistakes with their kids. And they hope that their kid will still like them and want to be around. And so I really, really am so grateful that you shared all of these thoughts and feelings with me and that I get to reach back out to you with some support. So thanks for sharing, because I know that this is something that so many people are struggling with right now. All right. So I want to just start by talking about stress. I had to kind of take a beat. I guess a lot of people are feeling stressed right now because I could just feel all the energy rush in when I said that. So I want to try and share with you today like a friend. And so I can try to see it from as close of a lens as possible. I want to acknowledge that I see you and I know that it's hard. And all of the things that are coming your way feel like the most important thing that you have to deal with right now. And you're trying to make the best decisions you can with a limited amount of time and a finite amount of energy that's probably not gotten enough recharge in the last, who knows, couple of months maybe, since you've gotten to fully relax. So massive amounts of empathy for everything you're feeling. And then following that up with that tough love from a friend that also says, whatever seems more important than your fun and your connection and your well-being and your laughter and your being alive may need to be re-examined, because that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing that our kids can receive from us, because we have all of this amazing experience, life experience and wisdom and mistakes that we've already made that we can help them, right? So cool to be able to share that with our kids. And we get to create a very strong foundation of connection and trust to be able to take on that role in our kids' lives, especially as they become teenagers, young adults, people that have their own thoughts and their own ideas about life. I don't know. What are we struggling with here? Homework, bills. Oh, bills. They'll get you, won't they? And you'll be thinking about that and stressing out about that and feeling the intensity of whatever ideas or whatever money fears that we all have. And then your kid asks you a question or interrupts you, when you're trying to do something, and then we explode and go off. And then that harms our relationship with them and harms our ability to receive their trust. Or maybe instead of going off on them, we attempt to control them in a different way, right? We tell them what to do. We give them advice that they didn't ask for. And then we try to solve problems for them and disempower them. And all of these things break down our trust. And we obviously want to do the opposite of that. And when we are in survival mode, it's hard to parent the way that we want to be a friend the way that we want to. Oh man, friendship is so important right now. There's so many people that are struggling. The mental health system seems like it is maxed out in terms of being able to meet the need of the community right now. So friends are so, so important. Reach out to your friends. They want to support you. They want to help you. And maybe they need help too. When we're in survival mode, when we are feeling overwhelmed by the stress in our life, or maybe by relationships in our life that aren't super healthy, it's hard for us to think rationally and behave kindly and gently with our kids. I've been reading The Parenting Revolution by Kiva Schuler. And others, I think it's like a multi contributor style book. But yeah, I'm always trying to learn more, and so that's been on the brain. So it's very possible that I can credit her here a little bit with some of that. But yeah, this is definitely basic neuroscience, right? So if we want to find the space for that unstressed, calm energy, well, for one thing, we get to acknowledge where we are. Like, okay, I'm stressed. This is going on. I'm feeling this, and process our emotions and accept the reality of, okay, so things are stressed. I'm not able to be present for my amazing young person the way I really want to be. So how do we get out of survival mode and ground ourselves and get back into our bodies? So I think one of the powerful ways we can do this is by challenging our thoughts. And when we feel tired, when we feel drained, what are the thoughts that we're having that are associated with that? And is there any of that that we can dismantle through reflection, conversations with our friends, conversations with our therapist, conversation with a coach, right? So eating really, really well, nourishing our body with our food. And even if we are eating junk food to make our brain feel a little bit happier, like allowing ourselves to do that in a guilt-free way that supports us and feels better. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I had a hard day. I'm going to share some empathy with myself, and I'm going to give myself this little treat. And not shaming ourselves because we don't have space and time for that. Because again, that's going to drain our energy and keep us in survival mode and keep us in the thought patterns that are holding us back. And these are basic things, right? Sleep, increasing our gratitude practice, noticing how freaking gorgeous our kids are and like the sound of their laughter, and like just appreciating the sound of the door closing when they come in because they're safe, and allowing yourself to feel that moment, because there's a lot of power there that can help you get out of survival mode, get out of stress, and be in the present moment and return to your body. Other things we can do: shaking, dancing, moving around, like getting that stuff out, stretching, yoga, cozying under some blankets with a cup of tea, taking a bath. Epsom salt is beautiful, my friends. I love it. I haven't done it in forever. That's a great idea. Maybe I should get into that. Okay. And then this mom acknowledged some special circumstances. And whenever I give parenting support or I'm honored enough to be asked for my advice, I always want to kind of couch what I'm saying in that I do not have all the information that you're making decisions with. So I acknowledge you as a person, and I empower you to take what I share with you and apply it in the way that serves you the most. So I want to acknowledge the struggle and finding grace in going at our own pace. And that, and I think I talked about this like a little bit earlier, but like being okay with starting where you are and being where you are and celebrating what your story looks like. And that if you go at a slower pace than someone else, then that can in some ways not be relevant. Like, okay, yes, I know that it adds stress to your system. And so then we go back to those other ways that we manage stress, but that there is no shame in going at a different pace. And that sometimes there is a gift and an opportunity in your own experience. And you are probably the best person to really see what that is. And I just encourage you to tune in and be really, really gentle with yourself and intentional about the things that you require from yourself, and making sure that whatever those things are, that you are prioritizing the things that fuel you and support you the most, because our ability to show up for our kids is limited by our energy. And so just having so much grace for yourself and discovering what you're meant to learn through things taking longer for you, and just so much patience with that. Yeah. A lot of empathy. I'm sorry, that's a struggle right now. Oh my goodness. Yay. So you brought up ADHD. Oh my goodness. So I'm a neurodiverse person, and I'm super grateful that this actually may have been discovered for your family, because I think that in so many cases, this gets missed. Girls often don't get noticed for ADHD for a lot of reasons, but I'm grateful that we can at least get underneath it, get ahead of it, and start to build some strategies around that. So I'm so glad that at least we have a starting point and we are understanding that her fluctuations in motivation and attention and ability to be able to execute executive functioning tasks is going to be variable. And so as a parent, it's very easy to be like frustrated with a teenager like this, because sometimes they're going to be able to do the thing and sometimes they're not. An example I'd like to use is my little son would like drag his feet to get ready in the morning for daycare. We wouldn't be able to get in there until like the last second. Like, you guys were supposed to be here already, like signing in. Okay, here we go. But then he started kindergarten and he's like, oh, yeah, I can do it. I can get myself ready. And he's just like completely dressed and like got his backpack on and like remembering like, oh, do I have my snack and all these things. And then there's other times when he can't even get out of bed and he's just like, I'm tired. Right. And so I'm not speaking to whether my son is or isn't neurodiverse in this case. The point is that there's a huge amount of fluctuation. And I'm sure as a parent that struggles with some health issues, that some days you can and some days you can't. And it's so that way with motivation when it comes to ADHD. There's a lot of emotional fluctuation that these people feel. And then boredom and tedium can be major barriers for getting started on a task. And then they're also encountering reactance, which means that when you ask them to do something, they're naturally going to push against that and not want to do it, mostly just because you said something. And then that's something that is going to kind of have a refractory period, and they're going to need to find another time that you didn't ask them to then remember and then go get motivated to start whatever the task is that we want them to start. So it's complex. And a lot of times girls can still be very successful with a diagnosis like this, but they end up working a lot harder than their peers. And so the fact that you've even become present to this is really powerful, and you can begin to collaborate with her and figure out what is going to work best for her with her input. Okay, so how do we solve this together? We are going to figure this out together. It's one of my favorite things to share with parents, to say to their teens. That one and okay. So those are my two big ones. I'm sure there's more, but those are some of my favorites right now. So I wrote down a few little tidbits for you. So yes, collaboration was the first one. And then the second one is it's not personal. They can't necessarily choose what they're going to focus on right now. And if they're going to focus on certain tasks, it's going to take a tremendous amount of effort and concentration. And so being mindful of how we use their effort and concentration, because it's possible that if you were to set up an outline and help them get started with some sort of creative endeavor with a structure, if you can provide the structure, then they can actually expand really well into that and not have to absorb all of their concentration with something that they perceive to be tedious or boring. So on that note, we also want to really avoid tedious and boring activities. Things that feel the same every single day are going to get old to a person that has ADHD. So yes, those are some of the main things I want to share with you. So maybe to avoid repetition or boredom, you can break tasks into smaller parts or support them in executing them. Okay, so this is really important. You are not enabling a teen that has ADHD. You are allowing them to be successful, which is a really important experience when we're building our self-esteem. And so if you can help them free up the mental energy and emotional regulation and allow them to use that energy for executive function for other tasks that they have to do for school or during the school day, which is going to absorb most of their attention because they have to kind of perform all day when they're at school. And so a lot of that energy is tired by the time that they get home. All right. So I think that's it. Oh, all right. No, that there was one more thing that had come up in our conversation. And this was about kind of like fear of rejection and hoping that your young person will still want to be connected as they grow. And so what I want to offer you in this conversation is hope. Like, I know that you're trying. I know that you do care. We wouldn't be having this conversation if you didn't. So all of us as parents are going to make mistakes. I believe that no matter where we are in our relationship with our kids, no matter what mistakes we may have made or lessons that we may have not learned yet, whenever we were too harsh or helped too much or whatever the thing was that we are feeling like has been a shortcoming on our part, I believe that our kids want to feel close and connected with us. And if we can earn their trust, then we're lucky enough to receive the honor and the opportunity to guide them and teach them well into adulthood. We get to have fun, man. Like, don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be funny, to sing, to laugh, to play, to be playful. Like, and for parents that have younger kids, you don't necessarily have to play with them, get out the Barbies and the G.I. Joes or even the Legos. You can just be more playful. Like when you're emptying the dishwasher with them, like, joking around with them, having some touch contact if that feels good to them, if they've given you consent, like let them feel like you love them and you love seeing them. Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite ones, is like just looking at my kid with delight, like, oh, I am so grateful for you. Like, I just want you to know from my eyes to yours how precious you are. And if we can just not put so much pressure on ourselves and just relax. Oh man, it's hard. I know. To go from stress to relax, how do we do that? Right? And it is a process. So reach out. Again, I'm more than happy to support you. And I just appreciate you. Just like little nudges, right? If you can just have a little more fun, allow yourself to enjoy an extra 30 seconds of being present, of enjoying the way that your kids' laugh sounds, of being silly with them, teasing them. It's a beautiful journey you get to go on with them. So don't forget. All right. Remember to love yourself. Have a beautiful day. Lots of love. Bye. Hello again, friends. Thank you for listening to the Best Mom Ever Parenting Teens podcast. We know how much it hurts to feel separated from our kids, and we want teens to know just how much love and support is available to them so that they can be successful. If you know that you want to parent with courageous inner calm, because it is the best way to create a strong and lasting relationship with our kids and teens, then I have a really special opportunity for you. Pre-registration is free and open now for the 3 keys to restoring trust and connection with your unique teen masterclass series. Master series. Yes. All right. You are going to discover the proven strategies to get out of struggle and into trust, confidence, and happiness with your teen. You're going to learn how to get the conversation with your teen flowing, discover ways you may be sabotaging your relationship, deepen connection with your teen so that you can feel heard and respected, and open up communication so that you can feel confident that you know what is up with your teen. So we can't wait to see you there. We're really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sign up in the show notes. There is a link. All right. See you there.